the game and shoot, I said that you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs live. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That flash making a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the sea, you know that it's scorching. What's the man with king? No response to the saying, advance to the line, advance to the payment. You front the game and shoot, what said that you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Said what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. And today I am proud to bring you the Nintendo Direct, which was really cool. It was a lot of games that I saw there that I liked. It was a lot of stuff that was going on at the show that was fantastic. But a lot of times, people watch the shows just to look for stuff to be outraged at. And we are in a state that people actively go outside and engage in rage farming. They want to feel some type of level of emotion, and that visceral feeling of anger and sadness. That stuff is what they like to live in, and they like to permeate that energy. That energy is not the energy that I dwell in, and I proceed to go forward. But hey, if this is your first time getting here, this is Xbox Frontline News, where we talk about all in gaming, but we hold the line for Xbox and our brand that we love. And in holding the line, yeah, we hold them accountable, but we push that line further as we advance the line down the PlayStation throat. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. We will keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. Now, with that being said, a lot of stuff was shown today, and we're going to get into those stuff that was shown today. But I got a little bit of information that I got to drop on you. I got to show you right now, because I believe that this information is dope as hell. Just wanted you to know that if you like Call of Duty and you like Fallout, Xbox got you covered, because now they're doing what we asked them to do. Start merging these worlds. Start making this happen. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. Joint look good. Joint look real good. Pause. It's gonna get us playing, boy. Let's go. Xbox wasting zero time giving you exactly what everybody's been asking for. They have been asking for Microsoft to use these universes that they hold, that they have the IPs for, and start merging these universes where it makes sense, so they can start capitalizing on all the IPs that they do have and start making the money that is necessary to make these dude number one in the industry. Wait a second, they're already number one, just to push it into the minds of individuals that don't realize exactly what's going on. This is worth talking about. Hideki Yoshida, the Sony Group, may see the PlayStation 5 as a failure and the envisioned goals are unattainable. Now, this is translated by ChatGPT. Shout out to ChatGPT and OpenAI. I do appreciate you giving us a window into conversations that us us guys on the West wouldn't be privy to. All right. Currently, it feels like the Sony Group is more focused on stock prices and profits than on the way they conduct their businesses. Indeed, from an investor's perspective, a company that makes profits is good company, but it's unclear why they are in the PlayStation business. In a hearing with the Sony Group, they expressed the view that even if the PlayStation 5 sales are lower than the PlayStation 4, it's not a problem because we're making a profit. Personally, I was astonished by this response because it suggests the notion that as long as there's profit, anything goes. The likely background to this view is Sony Group envisioned goal of the PlayStation 5 surpassing the PlayStation 4 significantly and overwhelming Xbox is now seen as unattainable. Moreover, rather than pouring unnecessary capital into what could be considered a failed PlayStation 5, it would be better to make fundamental improvements with the PlayStation 6. Thus, it is reasonable to scale back tactics to a level that won't disappoint investors as long as the profits and criticism will be avoided. Now, in the business briefing, I can understand whether the goal of the game segment was to make money, to develop the PlayStation business, or to win globally, even at the expense of Japanese users. It seems necessary to redefine the purpose of the game business. As an investment target, I highly value the Sony Group. The company is a model of efficiency and asset-light management and have established a recurring business with the music, movies, and anime copyrights. The overall growth potential with the business is high, making it a stock worth investing for the long term. That is why I can't help but feel ambiguity in the management's decision to allow Jim Ryan, former CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, who was responsible for the confusion in the game business, to leave amicably. When you took Sean Layden out of the building, removed his key card, and walked him out the door, and Sean built this city, how disgusting is that? That was my part. The fear that such vague management strategies may impact the company's business in the future. We are going to talk about this. And reading through that information, and I say GPT actually works so well for us to get these translates done so we could see more into languages that we don't fluently speak or we don't read or understand. PlayStation is playing it safe. That's like a boxer that thinks they're up on the scorecards and stop going for the knockout. It's like a football team that has a lead and they think that it's comfortable and they start going to a prevent offense. It's the same thing with a basketball team where they start playing not to lose, but and just not to win. The problem with that is you can never assess the hunger on the other side. Xbox is hungry and they're on the other side. And when you play prevent and you don't go for the win, you don't go for the jugular, you don't go for the kill, it's very telling and we can see it. That's the problem that's happening now. I'm going to give you further insight on the conversation I think people are having and trying to associate Sean Layden with Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name. Sean Layden, the game industry needs to show some patience. The industry veteran shares his views on the current state of the video game business. He's still in the video game business. He works for Tencent, and a lot of this stuff is disingenuous, but we're going to have a great conversation about this piece here because I believe this piece talks a little bit about Sean and how he was treated and what's going on. The Tencent advisor and former PlayStation boss, Sean Layden, has criticized the game industry for lack of patience during this period of widespread layoffs. Layden comments come during the opening podcast for GI Sprint, which is a new series of videos, podcasts, and articles around the subject of making video games cheaper, faster, and better. The full podcast goes live later today. Great way to shill your stuff. That's what you're supposed to do. I appreciate it. Hey, if you like this stuff, become a member. See? That's how you do it. The current industry situation, which has seen tens of thousands of redundancies across the business, has been caused by slow growth and rapid rises in costs. I don't believe that to be true. I believe it to be other things. And Layden says the side effect has been impatience from the games company when it comes to new ideas and concepts. That's the real frustrating thing. When you see people say, look there, a small studio that made a great game. It has true promise. It created an entirely new gaming experience, but we don't have the patience to play the thing out into part 2 or part 3 he began. Even though they didn't really get wiped out, they didn't have the windfall profits they expected, and so they just kill the thing and go for more established AAA IP sequels, copycats, and things from that financial perspective. You can draw through the line, and you can say, if we build this game and it likely perform like this in the market, when you bring completely new things that people have not seen before, which may be fantastic and quite often are, the publishing industry doesn't have patience now to nurture these things, and they feel that they need a quick big win, and that's a terrible place to be in this entertainment and creativity industry. Layden says that is ultimately the new ideas that have been what gets the industry, particularly AAA industry, out of the current predicament and not established brands and franchises. The vast majority of the planet has already said Grand Theft Auto is not that interesting. Call of Duty is not that interesting. Layden said they were both huge hits in our little village of gamers, of course. If people have already said that they're not interested in that experience, building more of those experiences will not get them in. It seems pretty at a time to me. Now, we're going to go through all of this stuff right here because he goes on, and I don't want to read the whole article to you guys. Yada, yada, yada. You can go to gameindustry.biz where you can get a chance to check this out. And this guy is a little bit controversial. What is it? Christopher Dring. People don't like his takes on things. And hey, man, he's here to make his do his job and report stuff how he reports stuff. And of course, we have inherent biases. But again, that shouldn't sway you here or there. You should just read the article and try to pick and choose the stuff that you want to understand and take from it. We're going to talk about this. All right. Reading this interview, and I got a chance to watch the interview as well. Sean Layden is talking from his frustrations as what was going on with him. It has really zero to do with Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name. Really has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with the fact of how Sean was treated. Remember, Sean was brought up in a different culture. You cultivate, you nurture, you bring across, and if a game doesn't actually hit the notes that you want them to hit, you still will be able to double back later on and make that happen, right? And you build off of that. A lot of stuff that was built under Sean and the way that he was trained to cultivate the PlayStation brand is lost. It was lost on Jim Ryan. It was lost on management. It was lost on the board. It's lost on individuals. And he sees the industry as that right now. A lot of people like to take his conversation and place it on the Xbox side because it works with their narratives, because they feel that they have an ally in Sean. You do not have an ally in Sean. Sean works for Tencent. He is doing what Sean does, and Sean does the absolute whatever it is, to be honest with you. Tencent, I told you guys to be wary and try to not think that he's coming from a pure standpoint. This stuff is all calculated and it moves accordingly. I don't care what you say. You're blue, you're always going to be blue. You're going to be blue down to your boots. If you're green, you're always going to be green. You're going to stand on your stuff, right? So he sees where Microsoft is going. He understands where Xbox is. And he thought, and they thought, that they would be able to overcome a lot of the obstacles that Xbox has, right? A lot of the obstacles that Xbox has that they can place in front of the PlayStation brand. It's financially driven, and they have done so now. Now they have taken control of their narrative, and Sean is watching in real time how the PlayStation brand, hashtag no PlayStation 6, you know how we do it over here. We're going to run it up on the bums. We're going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. These dudes will understand now that Microsoft sees the Xbox brand as viable, the PlayStation brand will be the way of the dodo. And with practices that are going on and that have been going on, Sean thought that the PlayStation brand would be safe. He did not understand what Jim would do. Jim has royally destroyed the PlayStation brand. They're in a defense, prevent, offense. And what they're trying to do is make sure that they don't lose the game. And when doing so, you will lose the game. The game will definitely slip out of your hands. And Microsoft is hungry enough, tenacious enough, and greedy enough to make sure that you become an app. They tried to play nice with you. You didn't want to play nice. Now, all you journalists, all you gaming media, you can't save Kong. Kong will die this generation. And you will understand who's holding the cards because you're not looking at the scoreboard. Right now, you're trying to figure out how you can survive to round 12. And Microsoft is throwing haymakers. Shout out to Tank Davis for getting the job done. Nintendo had a really good show. Now, there was a lot of stuff that was shown there that really didn't resonate with me, really didn't build well with me, but they did have a good show. They had a show where they showed a lot of stuff that I'm interested in. Like they showed the Mario and Luigi Brotherhood. Now, I remember getting Mario and Luigi on Game Boy Advance, I believe it was. And that game was fun. It was pretty cool. The what you're able to do there, it was dope. The tandem moves and all that other stuff. It was pretty cool. So, and listen, I honestly understand that as a Xbox owner, a PlayStation owner, you need a companion console, and I will always recommend the Nintendo Switch over the PlayStation if you're an Xbox only person. If you're a PlayStation only person, I would recommend the Nintendo Switch over the Xbox. Why I'm saying this is the Nintendo is so versatile in the games that they do bring forth, and they do hit the nostalgia kick that starts to kick in because you see stuff like Zelda. And I believe for the first time, I don't know, I could be wrong. There's so many different Zelda games. For the first time, Zelda is actually the main character opposed to Link. A lot of people thought that Link name was Zelda. No, Zelda is the princess and Link is Link. That's just who he is. He's the guy that is reborn over a period of time to save her and different stories. And that's how it works. Okay, but that's pretty cool. And that stuff is nice. Metroid for me. Metroid showed out. I love the way Metroid looked. Metroid Prime 4. I'm a fan of the Metroid Prime series, and you know when it was first announced, it was pretty cool and it was dope. And I'm happy that they're continuing, finishing that line is really good. Let it be what it's gonna be. Donkey Kong Country. I remember when Donkey Kong Country saved the Nintendo because at that time they didn't make the jump to 32-bit, and everybody else was there and. Rare came through and threw that haymaker, and yo, I was really, really super impressed. They had some online games with like Perfect Dark and some other stuff like that. That was a cool thing that they had there. What happened? Oh, the Mario Party Jamboree looks really cool. So if you're into Mario Party, into party games, your family come over. And what I like now is they're incorporating the online stuff. So they really taking it home with the online stuff. The Dragon Quest HD 2D remake stuff, that looks good. I'm into turn-based RPGs, so I get a chance to play that stuff at my leisure. Nintendo's pretty much been scratching the itch when it came to that for me. And let's be real, those games aren't super demanding, but they look pretty good on the platform. Luigi's Mansion, that is cool. I loved Luigi Mansion when it came out. I loved when I was using the analog sticks and stuff like that and, you know, getting the ghosts. So Luigi's probably one of my favorite characters when it comes to the Mario universe, and I always pick Luigi when I'm playing. So really like Luigi, really like the Mario stuff. Now, let's get to the problem that's inside the room. Nobody's going to duck this fade. The fade is going to be there. We talk about that Marvel Capcom collection thing, and that looks really cool. I mean, if you're into fighting games, and predominantly the Xbox Nation isn't into fighting games, and I know a lot of you guys are going to sit there and be like, "You're king," but Tekken and Street Fighter and all that other stuff is there. None of you guys went and picked up the Street Fighter collection beat 'em up that was there already, that's inside the store. None of you guys went and picked up the side-scrolling fight 'em beat 'em up that's inside the store. Capcom launched that stuff a long time ago. Remember when they were supporting the Xbox brand with Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition, the one that I picked up that none of you guys seem to pick up, none of you guys are playing? Yeah, that stuff. I mean, there's video footage of me beating the brakes off of dudes, but You can't cry for when they gave you an opportunity and you never took that opportunity to win. So now when they removed that opportunity for you, now you're crying foul. Or maybe you were one of the dudes that did purchase, right? And I purchased. Well, hey, it's on the opposition team right now. And that probably will be for a little while. I mean, maybe if y'all get it together and start raising enough of a stink, that maybe that game does come over. But a lot of times you guys don't make a stink. A lot of times you guys make a stink on Twitter, but don't make a stink where it matters. Don't hit Capcom. I'm pretty sure enough of you guys show that you have interest in the game, it doesn't cost nothing for them to put that game and port that game over. Remember, the Xbox and the PlayStation are virtually identical. They're small bespoke things that separate them from being the absolute same. But one of the biggest things that separate them from being the same is that money. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know exactly what we do over here. I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck. I'm going to make sure that you guys do not escape these guys. Everybody will know everything about you dudes. But this is the part in the video where I'm going to tell you to like, follow, and subscribe. And I'm also going to take that logo and I'm going to throw it around Lego. Did you see it? Did Alloy show out? Did you guys love that PlayStation third-party stuff? You thought y'all was going to duck the fade. You thought I wasn't going to jump on you. Pause. I'm all over you. No diddy. We're going to make this happen. You guys are third party, and Alloy leads the way. Hey, I love it. I love it. Embrace it. And remember, I'm telling you now, I'm calling the shot. I already told you that game coming to Xbox. And what are you going to say there? What are you going to say? That logo is going on Aloy. And you know what I'm going to tell you to do. Try to play the Game Pass.